So in Italy, they were so like my friends, family. They were so happy about this, and they were so shocked because so many people wrote to me like, "Oh, I didn't know you are a writer. I didn't know you wrote a book. Why you write it, and what is it about?" So it was really successful, and people that I didn't know, especially the Afro-Italian, wrote to me like on Instagram or Facebook, like you are speaking for so many of us.
I wanted to ask you about why, when you're 16, what did you feel like? When you're 16, what did it feel like to leave Senegal after your first trip? And what was your mission on returning to Italy?
Okay, so in the returning, I understood that of course I had to write something because I wanted to show what Africa means really. Because when I went there, I had a totally wrong idea about Africa, and I knew there was actually the same idea that people from here have. So when I came back, I wrote to a journalist and I asked him if he could help me to write a book about my experience. But he told me that I was too young, so I could write maybe an article for him, and so that's what I did.
And how come you're so ambitious at 16 to have a book written? I mean, that's quite sharp to decide, oh, I want a book written about my journey to
Yeah.
Senegal. Where did you get that ambition from?
So I got the vision because, like, I don't like reading books. First of all, I don't like books at all. I'm the kind of people that first watch the movie and then maybe if I have time, I'll read the book like
Right.
some years later. Um, but in this case was different because I didn't have um, another like point of view. Like I could also maybe record a video or a documentary, but I already did the trip, so I didn't know when I was going to come back in Senegal the next time. And
Right.
even if I could
Right.
go, I didn't know how to record it because I'm no one that I had just my phone, so I couldn't record it. So it was just the only way that I could try to.
All right. So when was the article printed? What was the process? What was the response? Tell us all about it.
Okay, so first of all, I wrote the article, but I didn't know how to write it. So I asked, of course, my Italian teacher because she was the only one. So I asked her, and she simply answered me, "Write it, write it as you can, as you want,
Mm,
and after I
mm,
will read it and fix it for you."
right.
I told her that I couldn't write an article. I didn't know how journalists do their job. So she told me just write it as you feel it because it's something yours. This is not you're not a journalist and nobody is interviewing you.
Yeah.
Do you do it
Yeah.
as you can as you want.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I just like open word office, and I start to write my text. I write it as I was there, like I was reliving my experience. And actually, there was the best thing because after it was a great article. And when I proposed it to the journalist, he was really happy and he enjoyed it a lot. He had to
Oh,
cut it a little bit because it was too long, but after he published it.
all right. What was the response in your town? What was the response from your school friends, your teacher?
So the response at the time, the teacher were so proud, and my friends too. And the Senegal community was proud too because something from Senegal was actually on the paper. So they didn't believe that. I received comment like, wow, the first black people, there is not Obama that I see on a paper. Okay. And
Wow.
I was happy about that. But I don't think that with this article, with the first article, I achieved the aim that I wanted. Like, because I want them to change their idea on Africa. Like, guys, wake up. Africa is not just as you imagine it. Africa is like this in the article. But they
You
were
know,
like, oh, I'm happy. I'm happy because you write an article, so you're good.
that's amazing because I like to kind of connect things. And um, when it comes to me as a creative, one of my first pieces of work was similarly out of frustration to
Yeah,
also say, my homeland is not what you imagine it to be. That was literally
yeah,
my first film. I traveled over to Uganda and I shot a lot of stuff, and it was to show the good, the bad, and the ugly, just as
mm-hmm.
everywhere else in the world.
Yeah,
Because I really got sick of. People's questions that were very ignorant, and especially now with
yes,
Google and
they are.
stuff, I really think
Yeah,
there's no excuse to really be that ignorant about Africa, that they are cars, they are they are buildings, they are people working, they are hospitals, they are airlines, they are airports. I mean, these are all
yeah,
things that quite a few people still imagine doesn't exist in Africa, shockingly, but
yeah, it's a shock.
unfortunately it's the case. So
Mm-hmm.
you got that, you got it out. So did you consider yourself a writer now? Like, okay, that's it for me. I'm going to be a writer.
Not really, because I don't think I'm a writer, but
Still,
most
after one book, you still don't think you're a writer. Okay,
no,
that's
I don't
interesting.
think. I don't think so. I don't think I'm a writer because I think that a writer can like also write something that uh, is not something about his life. You know what? Like I just wrote my life. I just told my life, but I don't know if I can write a book of another story. So
Okay.
this is something that basically everyone can do because everyone have a life as a story background, so just to sit down and write your story, and that's what
Very
I
wrong.
did.
You're
So
very
maybe
wrong.
I
You're
I'm a
very wrong.
storyteller.
I tell you, you're very wrong. And
Maybe.
I don't like to tell somebody they're wrong because everybody's entitled to their opinion. But to be honest, you've written a
Yeah,
book, you're a writer, and I don't even think you need to write a book to be a writer. As long as you're putting words on a page and putting your
yeah,
story out, be proud of it. I think you should embrace it because you accomplished something amazing, and it's not something everybody can do easily. So I
yeah,
think it's good to keep humble. I like your attitude to say you're not a writer. I think it's healthy. I don't know how long
okay.
you'll be saying that for. Catch up with you in 10 years. But but remember what you said here. But yeah, I think it's also good to just own it. I'm a writer. Yes, I've written one. Maybe I'll write another one. Maybe I won't. I think it's quite nice to be able to write a book and not be forced to do it for money. That you did it out of your
Yeah,
heart and your
yeah, yeah.
that's a beautiful thing, and that's
Yeah.
actually a luxurious position to be in
I
because I
don't
think a
want to
lot of
write because I am forced to. Like in
yeah.
these days that they asked me to write a book for the Mondadori, which is a great like editor here in Italy.
Right.
I think is the most famous in Italy. But I don't know if I will say yes because I don't want this to come like my job
Right.
because they ask me if
Yeah.
one day it will be my job. It will be
Yeah.
because I decided to grow
Yeah.
something else, but not because they asked me from here to December to take a decision. You know.
Well, I think as a young person to be able to have that clarity is also very useful. I think you make your choice for yourself, but I always believe now I'm
Yeah.
older than you that to go with your instincts is a powerful thing. And sometimes you will lose,
Yeah.
but in the end, I think it pays dividends. It pays off to just truly believe in your message and what you want to say. And money, money can sway us to do many things. It can take us off our path, but also
Yeah.
we have to survive. So it's always like, okay, how much do I need to survive and do my art and you know that
Yeah,
kind
but
of
I think like
journey.
everything happened for a reason. So even if I'm guide for my from my instinct and got something is going in negative way. I think that is because
Still a reason.
it had to
Yeah,
be like
you
this.
have to go through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So now you say you're not a writer, but you've written the article. Now, how did you jump from the article to your book? Because we know your book. Tell us the title and how it all
yeah.
happened.
So this happened because, first of all, as I told you, the journalist told me that I was too young. So okay, I understood that. I wrote the article, and then when I came back in Senegal, which is in 2000, December 2017,
Mm-hmm.
January 2018. When I came back, I was like 20, so nearly
Mm-hmm.
20, yeah. And so I decided to write my book from the article. So I just
Wow.
I just did like this. I opened my computer and
Yeah.
I looked for the old file of my
Mm-hmm.
article of 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and I started from the article. Like I do copy and paste in another page, and
Wow.
then from
Yeah.
the article I build the book
Expanding.
around. Yeah,
Brilliant. Brilliant. So you had your format in a sense, you had your structure, and then you
yeah.
expanded on the stories.
I just started from the center, and
Wow.
yeah, and
Interesting.
the first chapter
Yeah.
is called starting from the center.
Okay. So tell us the title of the book because some people would probably try and get hold of it. Is it available in only Italian or other languages?
For now, just in Italian,
Oh, okay.
but
So what's the name of the
I'm
book?
working on it. The name of the book is Allergic al pesce, Hakuna Matata, which means in English that I'm allergic to fish. I can't eat fish, and Hakuna Matata, which is in Swahili, living without problems.
All right. So why the title? That's very interesting title. Very, I
Yeah.
mean, with the Swahili, because I know a little bit of Swahili, so I know Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. So I choose Hakuna Matata, even if it's the only word that I know in Swahili, because I think that some expression you can tell them just in their language, so you can
Mm,
translate it. So if you know the meaning, it's okay. If you don't know the meaning, you will never understand because I can't explain that. Hakuna Matata, I think, is something that I even have a tattoo of Hakuna Matata because it's something really nice to say to somebody or to believe in because it's a concept really easy, okay, but it's so like useful for your life
mm,
because at the when I started the trip, my life wasn't on the line of Hakuna Matata. I was full of problems. I was full so confused, and I decided to give this title because my book is a journey, and at the end of the
mm.
journey, I understand what Hakuna Matata was.
Right, right. Fantastic. So now I gotta ask you, what was the response in Italy? Were they selling like hotcakes? Were they flying off the shelves? What was going on?
So in Italy, they were so like my friends, family. They were so happy about this, and they were so shocked because so many people wrote to me like, "Oh, I didn't know you are a writer. I didn't know you wrote a book. Why you write it, and
Right,
what
right,
is it
right.
about?" So it was really successful, and
Mm-hmm.
people that I didn't know, especially the Afro-Italian, wrote to me like on Instagram or Facebook, like you are speaking for so many of us.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And uh,
I said that's wonderful.
okay,
I
okay, sorry, I didn't
said,
understand. Sorry,
ah, that's great. So okay, so you got, and now that jumps me to that question about the term Afro-Italian. When
yeah,
did you encounter this term? It sounds like the conversation came off the back of your book. Were you
yeah,
using this term? Tell me more about it, please.
yeah. If it was like something that I met, okay, after I wrote the book because before I didn't know they were people like me, you know. Even with my Senegal friends from here,
Mm,
I never saw them as Italian, but just like Senegal friends. I never
mm-hmm.
said like my Italian Senegal friends because they don't want to be Italian. Okay,
Right.
but after my book, they told me actually we are Italian, and we didn't even know
Wow.
that, but we are actually Italian like you. So we are our entire life living in Italy, um, and telling you that you were white, a white Italian, but actually we are white Italian. If you are white Italian, we are white Italian too. So we are Afro Italian like you. And I say,
Mm-hmm.
wow, Afro Italian, nice word. I will keep it.
How about the people who responded on social media? Did you get any interest from other Africans living in other countries? So Afro Americans, Afro British, Afro
Yeah,
Dutch. Did
yeah,
anybody
of
reach?
course.
All right. So what happened? What was the engagement like? What kind of conversations were you having?
Like many people, maybe from London, because
Yeah.
I used to live there, and then when they know about the book, they were Italian too. So they were really happy about that because actually they were living in another country, which is
Yeah.
the UK. So coming from Senegal, raised up in Italy, and then go to London. And so they found themselves reading the book or like just watching my story.
Please like and subscribe. Shadow Choose Films.